Day 119, excuse me. Day 119. Still can't believe I'm doing this shit. Still can't believe it. Um, Hold up, y'all. Gotta let a couple people know. All right. Um, Let me get into this video. She met the most attractive man, but says he doesn't make enough money. I don't come up some of these topics I come up with. I don't come up with these topics because I try to target anything in particular. I just when I see dumb shit or dumb logic, irrational behavior, all these different things, I just check it. Like it's a problem of mine. It's a gift and a curse. You know what I mean? But I can't. It's a curse because sometimes I can't let certain things go it's just dumb. I'm gonna play this video. So, but I always try to give lessons behind everything. So if you notice, even in most of my videos, except for maybe the funny clip ones, there's still some type of lesson. Even the man versus gorilla thing, right? I started getting on the men about being fit, working out, protecting the women, all of that different stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So there's always some underlying gem, a message, something that you could take from it. But let's get into this video because this thing is crazy to me. Hold up, here we go.
With one of the most handsome men I've ever seen in my entire life. Easily one of the most handsome men I've ever seen in my entire life. Only qualm I have is based on his career. I estimate that he probably makes anywhere from $65,000 to $70,000 a year. I make 4 to 5 times more than that. Do y'all think that relationships with that large of a pay gap can survive? Is that shallow for me to ask? Like, these are just the things that really are on my mind as I'm dating. And I specifically mean when it's the woman making significantly more, because I feel like it is normalized for the man to make more. But in terms of how I grew up, my mom made significantly more than my dad, and that does not come without issues. Okay. So I recently matched with one of...
All right. I don't know if is this the lady? Yeah, okay. Let's check. Let's see what she looked like. Cause all right, this is her. Right. Before I get to my point. How you go back? Okay, there we go.
So I recently matched.
All right. She says, today's discussion, dating with a pay gap. I'm all about seeing a man's potential, but at what point do we date based on what we see in the here and now? We're both in our 30s. He seems very focused and driven to me. Laugh my ass off. He's a gym rat, his words, not mine, and play college football. So it's like I really do feel like he has potential to make more one day. That is, if he wants to. He may be very happy where he is right now. Now, she said his occupation is a PE teacher. So he's a teacher. He can always, sometimes PE teachers end up teaching another subject later. So he's a teacher. He's influencing the youth. He's teaching the youth, right? As of right now, he's just a PE teacher. So some people might say it's just a PE teacher. But this same situation could be with just a regular teacher. Hold on, let me blow me up real quick. This could have been with a regular teacher, and she still would have felt that way, right? Let me read these comments. If she made less than, she wouldn't be asking the duration of relationship survival. She wouldn't be asking the duration of relationship survival. How typical of a woman. That's from a woman saying that. But anyways, I feel like I lost a couple of people just now. But here's the thing. As y'all seen her, show her one more time. That's not the best picture, but y'all seen her. Hold up. Let me hit play.
With one of the
Right.
most handsome men I've ever seen in my entire
Let me
life.
just mute her. Y'all see her. She's not ugly. You know what I mean? She look like her skin is smooth and stuff. It's a big plus. But she's average. She's not something special. So you met the most attractive man in your life. So this dude looks very good, according to her. It's the most attractive man that she's ever met. And she's average. What's the problem? What's the problem? Because at the end of the day, the pay gap, yes, there is a pay gap, but you're getting more of something that he's getting less of. You're getting more looks, more attraction, because I'm almost certain that you're way more attracted to him than he is to you. You feel what I'm saying? So what's the issue? You make more money. Good. That means you don't have to worry about, y'all don't have to worry about money. You make 4 times what he making. You said 4 to 5 times he makes 50 to 75,000. So roughly you make about 200 to 250,000, somewhere in that ballpark. So you're making good money. And I think she worked at Google or something from one of her pictures. I'm not sure, but you're making good money. So what's the issue? Why is it that the man always have to have more money? In a lot of these situations, not all, because there's a lot of women out there. Shout out to all the women out there who don't really care, but there's still always an issue with it, because a lot of times when a woman makes more money, she thinks that she is the leader. You making more money could just very well mean that you have a skill that allows you to make more money. That's one option. Option 2, maybe if this dude wants to just be a full-time teacher, what's wrong with that? A lot of times teachers aren't going to make that much money, but it's an admirable job. You know what I mean? It's not something that we should just brush over. You're working with the youth. You're molding the future of this world, right? But I don't see what's the issue. If you're making more, you get to, you don't. Oh, I know what I was talking about. Just because you make more doesn't mean that you are a better leader. It doesn't make you the leader. It don't mean you make better choices. You just have a skill that allows you to make more money. And making more money doesn't mean you're worth more money. That's the big key right here. Making more money doesn't mean you're worth more money. It just means you make more money. But if you don't spend your money correctly, that man, and this is a stat that you can actually look up. I know it was true some years ago. I don't know how true it is as of now, but it was true like 8 years ago. The number 2 newest millionaires are teachers. The number 1 is supposed to be engineers, right? But the number 2 is teachers, because the way they save and invest, and they do it strategically, and they're not looking to just get rich quick. So clearly they're doing something right. They're putting their money to the side, putting it in stocks and 401ks and things is going to grow and getting matched in a 401k. 401ks ain't really that good, but if you could get a place to match it, then it's good, but it's not that great. You better off getting a life insurance policy. But anyways, I digress. So at the end of the day, it's not really about how much you make if you're not able to retain most of the money that you're making. So she could be making more. Now, when it's that big of a gap, more than likely she probably has more overall, but a lot of times people can be, making 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, still living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because they live that life. They live an expensive life. So they're blowing money. You know what I mean? They got a lot of debt and stuff like that. So a lot of money's coming in, but a lot of money's going out. So the reason why it's a problem because maybe this should have been a whole conversation in itself. And I wanted to have this conversation because there was another thing that I seen talking about this, and it's why is it that it's an issue when women make more than men? And it's always the women always just say, "Oh, because you intimidated." No, it's not because I'm intimidated. I've never found or heard a man say, "When I get my wife, I want my wife to lead me." I've never heard. If y'all could find a video or anything that says a man saying, "Yo, I need a woman that could lead me," I would be shocked. But you don't hear that. But there's countless videos, there's countless women that say, "I want a leader. I want a person who could take charge, who can lead me, who can lead the way." You hear this all the time, right? But the problem is y'all equate money to leadership. So you feel like soon as you make more money, you can't be told what to do anymore. You already struggle with following. You know, women say they want leaders, but they struggle with following the leader. It's always the next thing is a thing that I gotta combat and go against. You know what I'm saying? I'm a complain and all of this, and yeah, he might still make the final choice, whatever. But I can't just relinquish my power unless it's something that you just don't want to do. If it's something you don't want to do, yeah, you relinquish it. I think we need to fix, get the tires fixed first, then the brakes. I'll do it. Listen, I don't want to have to deal with that. That's how the women think. But when it's something else, like, no, I don't want to get that particular house. I think we need to, now it's an issue. Or no, we shouldn't go on this vacation right now. Now it's an issue. Now I can't follow you. I can't, you see what I'm saying? You can't have it both ways. You can't just let the man lead when there's things you just don't want to do. I don't want to take lead on that anyway. So please feel free. And then when there's things you want to do, but he has a different vision, now you want to combat that. So what happens is a lot of times when women make more money than the man, they start thinking, well, I can call the shots because I make more money than you. I can do this. Just because you have a skill that makes more money doesn't mean you're a better leader, doesn't mean you have better vision, any of that stuff. They don't go necessarily hand in hand. Yeah, they can, but they're not it doesn't dictate whether you are a good leader because you make more money. You feel what I'm saying? So, and if you look at it, like I always use sports as a reference. If you look at sports, right? The highest paid person on the team is usually, the player, but the coach is still the leader. The coach is the one leading the athletes, right? The money doesn't mean, now I know in sports sometimes, the players got a lot of power, but that's because of the ownership. But that's neither here nor there. But overall, the coach is still leading the team. You know what I mean? And the players need to follow the coach. If they can't follow the coach, usually they're not going to win. So if you go into a relationship and you say, hey, I want my man to be a leader, I want him to be able to lead and guide and take control, then you can't constantly fight him on it just because you make more money. So this is why it ends up being a problem. Because when I say, no, we're not doing this thing, this financial thing, and you think, well, I make more money than you, so I'm gonna do it. Or I think we should do it. You don't see what the problem is? That's the problem. I'm making a decision. You make more money. You feel like, well, since I make more money, I can make this decision. I want to buy this car instead of that car. And I'm like, no, I don't think we should buy that car. We should save this so we can invest in that, whatever. And you're like, well, no, I want this car and I make more money, so I'm going to buy this car because I deserve it. So we're just going to keep, knocking heads. We're never going to get anywhere. So that's really the issue. It's not that men are intimidated. It's not the men. And if they are, it's because of the history that's been shown. It wasn't like the first woman that ever made more money than the man. The man was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. No, it's the history. If history keeps showing that when women make more money than men overall, they start feeling like they can't be told shit, but yet they claim they want a leader and they want somebody to guide them, then that's when we're gonna feel like, I don't know if I want that woman because she thinks she a boss B. You know what I'm saying? And she think she can't be told anything because she make more money. And then she gonna try to dictate to me what I'm gonna do. You feel what I'm saying? But if some dangerous shit pop off, she ain't gonna be the leader then. Nah, what happened to all that money? You got the money, you take the bullet. You don't want to do that. You got the money, you figure out what's gonna happen now when shit hit the fan. When shit really hit the fan and we in a dangerous situation. You're the leader. So what do we do, leader? Money maker? No. Now you want the man of God. Okay, so if that's gonna happen, you gotta let him lead, and you be a good follower. You're gonna have your input. A good leader always looks to the people around him for sound advice because it's gonna be something that you specialize in that I'm not aware of, but I gotta still make the final decision. I.e., let's go to a football team. You have the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, special teams, and then you got the head coach. Most of the time, the head coach specializes on one side of the ball, either offense or defense. They don't usually specialize in both, right? So they allow their D coordinator, if it's an offensive head coach, he allows his D coordinator to create the defensive game plan. He's going to lean on him. Hey man, I need 5 defensive plays. Which one you think is the best? But at the end of the day, when there's a situation in crunch time, the head coach has to make that decision. Even if the D coordinator is saying, hey, we need to do this, and the head coach is like, I don't think so. I think I got all your input and I appreciate it, but I'm gonna make this call. And why? Because when shit fails, the leader is the one that's gonna get blamed for it. So when a relationship fails, 9 times out of 10, even if the woman does something wrong, the man is still looked at as you failed her. You didn't lead properly. You didn't have your household in check. You know what I mean? If she step out, you didn't have your household in check. You wasn't handling your business. You did something wrong that caused her to do it. So if that's the case, if I'm gonna take all of the blame, I need somebody that's gonna follow. So that way, when it does fail, I can feel like, all right, I fucked it up. You feel what I'm saying? I don't need all that combativeness and like, oh, I want to do this and go to. This is sound advice, ladies. Don't argue it. Just accept it. It is what it is. If you want some relationships to last and you make more money, you still have to be a good follower and choose the right man to lead. If you don't think he's a leader from the beginning, then don't be with him. If a man is leading, he makes a call and he fails on that call, like it's a bad call, it doesn't mean now the next 30 things he decides to do, you go against it. Every coach doesn't make the winning call. Sometimes they lose the games, but are they winning more than they're losing? Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches of all time, sometimes he made a bad call. You know what I'm saying? That's when you're supposed to come in and say, yo, I'm your support system. I got you. Even though you know you made a bad call, it's all good. We can clean this up together. Not, oh well, you the leader, so you do it. No, you still support. You still got to support the person that you're following. Why would you not? Why would you want him to lead you and then you're just gonna sit back and not support him and help him make the best decisions? Or if you happen to make one bad decision, say, yo, we can handle this together. You know what I'm saying? Till next time, leave the comments, which I think, in the comment section, leave what your thoughts are. Can a woman who makes significantly more than her man be in a relationship and it work? Why or why not? Please put it in the comments when this video is done. Peace.